The town of Caldera Springs had learned to live afraid. Not the dramatic fear of a single terrible event, the slow, grinding fear of a place that had been under someone's thumb for long enough that fear had become the texture of ordinary life. Shops closed early. Men took longer routes home. Women didn't walk alone after 4 in the afternoon. Children had stopped playing in the street in front of the saloon, because the saloon was where Virgil Crane spent his evenings. And where Virgil Crane spent his evenings, bad things happened to people who drew attention to themselves. Virgil Crane was not a complicated man. He was large, he was violent, and he had decided some years back that Caldera Springs was his town in every way that mattered. He had 3 men who went where he went and did what he needed done. He had a relationship with the local law that was less partnership than ownership. And he had 11 months of unchallenged operation behind him, which had given him the comfortable certainty of a man who had never been seriously tested. The stranger had been in town for 2 days. Nobody knew his name. He'd taken the corner table at the Caldera Springs saloon on Monday morning and had been there, at intervals, since. He ordered coffee. He read when he had something to read. He looked at nothing in particular and missed nothing at all. On Wednesday evening, Virgil Crane walked through the saloon doors. He scanned the room the way he always scanned rooms, with the ownership that 11 months of unchallenged operation produced. He saw the regulars. He saw his 3 men at the bar. He saw the corner table. He looked at the corner table for a moment, at the hat brim pulled low, at the jaw and the mouth visible beneath it, at the hand resting loose near the whiskey glass, at the stillness of a man who had heard the doors open and had not looked up. Crane's jaw tightened. "Hey," he said, to the corner table. "You, look at me when I walk in." The man at the corner table did not look up. The saloon went quiet the way it always went quiet when Crane spoke. The bartender found something urgent at the far end of the counter. The regulars became interested in their drinks. Crane's 3 men turned from the bar to watch, not with concern, with the anticipation of men who had seen this performance before and knew how it ended. It always ended the same way. The man at the corner table turned the page of whatever he was reading. Crane crossed the room. He was a large man, not the theatrical largeness of a man performing intimidation, the functional largeness of someone who had been using his physical presence as an argument for long enough that it had become second nature. He stopped at the corner table and looked down. The hat brim was still low. The jaw was still set. The hand was still loose near the glass. "I said, look at me," Crane said. The man at the corner table closed the document he'd been reading. Not a book, a folded paper, the kind of paper that had official letterhead on it, and set it on the table beside the glass. He looked up, pale blue eyes. Crane had expected to see fear. He'd been seeing fear for 11 months in this town, and had come to expect it the way men came to expect the things that were reliably true about their world. He did not see fear. He saw the eyes of a man who had counted every person in this room when he walked in on Monday morning, and had been updating that count twice a day since, and had nothing left to calculate. "Virgil Crane," the man said, not a question. Crane looked at him. "Who are you?" "Cole Harlan," the man said. He said it the way he said everything that was simply true, without weight added, without announcement. Just the name. The name landed in the saloon like a stone dropped into still water. Crane's 3 men at the bar exchanged a look. The bartender stopped pretending to clean. Crane stood at the corner table and looked at the pale blue eyes and felt, for the first time in 11 months, the temperature of a room change in a direction he hadn't produced. "You've been sitting in my saloon for 2 days, Crane said. "I've been sitting in a saloon," Cole said, "waiting for you to arrive." He looked at Crane. "Sit down. I want to tell you how this ends." Crane didn't sit. Men like Crane didn't sit when they were told to sit. The instruction itself was the offense, regardless of who delivered it. He stood at the table with his hands at his sides and looked at Cole Harlan and ran the calculation that he ran in every situation. The numbers, the angles, his 3 men at the bar, the distance between them and the man at the table. Cole hadn't moved. He'd closed the paper, looked up, said the name, and hadn't moved since. 3 men at the bar, Cole said. You've had them there since you walked in. You're counting the distance. He looked at Crane with the eyes that had been reading rooms for 30 years. I've been counting it for 2 days. Crane's jaw was tight. What do you want? Crane said. What I always want, Cole said. For this to end without anyone needing to be carried out. He looked at the folded paper on the table. I have federal documentation of 11 months of your operation in this town. I have statements from 4 people who have been waiting for someone to ask them the right questions. He paused. I also have a warrant, filed in the federal district court, which means the county law you've been operating with doesn't apply to what happens next. Crane looked at the paper. You've been sitting here for 2 days, he said slowly. Building a record, Cole said. Everything that's happened in this town in the last 11 months is in that record. What you've done, what your men have done, what the county law has done, and what they've looked away from. He held Crane's eyes. A federal judge is going to read that record, and when he does, the question won't be whether you're guilty. The question will be how much of it he decides to pursue. Crane looked at him for a long moment. Something moved through his face, not the fear Cole had been seeing in this town for 2 days, but the recalibration of a man who had built his world on a set of assumptions and was watching one of them fail in real time. 4 witnesses, Crane said. 4 willing to sign, Cole said. More who will, once they see what signing produces. He looked at Crane. Sit down. This time, Crane sat. I need to stop. I need to step out of this story. Out of Caldera Springs. Out of 1890. Out of the corner table and Virgil Crane. Because there is something I have to tell you. This was going to be another episode of Silver Dollar. Cole was going to do what he always does. Sit in that corner, read his documents, count the room, and when the moment came, make Crane understand that 11 months of owning a town wasn't going to survive a federal warrant and 4 signatures, and a man who had been waiting patiently for 2 days. That story was real. That episode was coming. But YouTube demonetized this channel, and without monetization, we can't continue here. So I need to talk to you, not as a narrator, as the voice that has been with you through all of it. Cole Harlan was never the fastest gun in any territory. He said so himself. What he was, what he always was already decided. Before he walked through the door, before he sat down at the corner table, before any of it started. That was his gift, not speed, not strength, decision. And the stories we told, every single one of them, were about what happens when someone decides, really decides. Not the moment the gun clears leather, the moment before, the moment when most men are still calculating, and Cole Harlan had already chosen. That's what this channel was about. Not outlaws, not duels, not the frontier. Those were the backdrop. This channel was about the moment a person decides to stand in front of something wrong and not move, and what that costs, and why it's worth it anyway. You were there for all of it. Every country, every comment, every person who dropped a note telling us where in the world they were listening from, driving, working, lying in the dark at the end of a long day. You made Silver Dollar real. Cole Harlan doesn't disappear. He's still out there, still riding north, still finding the next thing that needs doing. He just rides under a different name now, on a different channel, because that's what the road required. We created that channel. New name, new stories, same heart. The name is in the comments below. Go find it, subscribe, come ride with us. And from Cole Harlan, from the man at the corner table who never looked up when you walked in, but always knew you were there, Thank you. This is Frank Ardell. For the last time, for Silver Dollar. Ride safe.